Look, before we finish up, I'm going to ask you probably the question that everyone wants to know. How would you rank the actors who have played Bond, James Bond?
So I'm tempted to storm off set right now, JT, just because this is like choosing between my own children. But I will, and I love them all equally in different ways. I know you have some strong opinions as well about some Bonds as well, but I will do my best to rank them from the bottom. And already after having thought about this list beforehand, I already disagree with what I've done, but that's okay. So, pains me to say, Timothy Dalton, number 7, License to Kill, Living Daylights, which I think he's still brought some great stuff to the Bond movies. I think he was a great Bond, but perhaps because I didn't have that emotional connection to him growing up.
Your license to kill is revoked, and I require you to hand over your weapon. Now. I need hardly remind you that you're still bound by the Official Secrets Act.
It's a farewell to arms.
First Bond I saw in the cinema, didn't really get what all the fuss was about, to be honest, but there was some good killing, so I appreciated that when I was probably 12 or 13. So, okay, that's your number 7 Bond.
Number 7.
Working up, number 6.
Number 6 was, and this one pains to say because I put George Lazenby, but at the same time, I think on Her Majesty's Secret Service, of all the Bond fans, you get various different types. I'm of the camp that thinks that's an exceptional Bond movie and one of the best. Not everyone will agree with that. So I think, therefore, he should be ranked higher, but just by nature of the fact that he only did one movie.
Fabulous beauties, all of them dolls, every one different. They've got to be when he's around.
My name's Bond, James Bond.
He was forever being compared to Connery, and I think that's what the backlash was. If he had accepted an offer, which he didn't, to do 10 films, maybe he would have become one of the best Bonds. The only Australian Bond. But only one movie, and so, that's why I'm ranking him at number 6.
Purely from an accent perspective, you could even rank him above Connery because he doesn't necessarily sound Australian in every scene, unlike Connery, who sounds Scottish in every single scene playing the British spy. But okay, who's in at number 5?
Number 5 is Roger Moore, who I believe you have a particular affinity to, JT.
Look, Roger Moore for me is probably the worst Bond, but the most realistic depiction of a British spy. Because I've had the good fortune in my life to meet a couple of former MI6 operatives, and they are pretty much dead ringers for a sort of 70-year-old Roger Moore. They are vaguely schlubby white guys who could blend into the background and did a very good job at doing so. You do not blend into the background if you sound like Sean Connery or look like Daniel Craig. That aside, he's my worst Bond. I just do not get the sort of...
You're not thinking...
I sure am, boy. Ever heard of Evel Knievel?
Look, if there was ever a Bond that I would invite around to tea, it would be this Bond.
I'm sure he's delightful, but he is a Bond of his era when I believe they were trying to do something a little bit different with the character. And look, that was what it was. Who is in next?
Next is Pierce Brosnan. The Bond that, the early part of my childhood I grew up with. The Bond that saved Bond after 6 years where there was all the questions around, could it come back from a rights dispute? Is it relevant post the Cold War? He did kind of save Bond, so that's why he's ranked up there, ranked pretty high.
Call him off. I won't ask again. Call him off. Call him off!
Yes, Pierce Brosnan, who did see a couple of his movies at the cinema and played the hell out of the video game that starred a terrible rendition of him, of course, being GoldenEye. Such a good game. All right, so we're getting to the pointy end. Who comes in at the coveted number 2 position?
This, JT, is where the list gets controversial. Connery is my number 2.
Sean Connery, a fine actor and not a great purveyor of accents, one might suggest.
No.
You are English?
Yes, I'm English.
I speak English. Who is your floor?
No, definitely not. But look, the original Bond, great Bond movies, but ultimately I think my number 1 tips him over the edge, no doubt. Daniel Craig, just because he respected that tradition of the Bond character, brought something new to it, but most importantly, brought a bit of emotional heft to it, and a character arc, and just more depth to it. And he is the star of 2, potentially 3 of my favourite Bond films.
007 reporting for duty.
Where the hell have you been?
Enjoying death.
I only have one question.
Why not stay dead? There's no shame in saying you've lost a step.
Very nice. Okay, well, I don't entirely disagree, but these are our lists side by side. You can compare and contrast. Look, we can see that friends can agree on some things because Daniel Craig is absolutely the best Bond to my eyes so far. This has been the Movie Club. Thank you very much, Olek, for your guest spot. We will see you next time, and stay safe, my friends.